Be 500, get into the wild card.
86 got the Phillies all the way to the World
I
Series.
hate to break it to you, man. I don't think it was your vision.
This podcast is perfectly named, I would say.
I hate to make excuses for Sandy and the rest of the
No,
pitcher
you don't. You've been doing it all year.
I do hate it. I'm just gonna say it.
Fucking hitting bombs to fucking Ocho. Like,
Inject that into my veins.
If that continues, there's no way we make the playoffs.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Welcome everybody to episode. Well, actually, it is the season finale episode of Battered Marlins Fans Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, we have very established, very eloquent-looking gentleman here, suit and tie, black and tie affair. Our final award show of the season. How are you doing, gentlemen? I'll start here to my right. How are you doing, Spaz?
I'm doing great. It was supposed to be a black tie affair, and because I work from home and I don't really dress up anymore, I have donated all my ties to Goodwill. So I found this one, but I'm doing great.
The shirt makes up for it, for sure.
Hell yeah, man. Got to go with that. So excited.
How you doing, Brandon? I mean, it's the end of the season, so it's good and bad.
I'm doing good, you know. I am going through a little bit of baseball withdrawal. Been trying to keep up with the Arizona Fall League. Didn't want to watch the World Series. Too painful. Still, you know, but doing good.
And Callie, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. It's been bittersweet, going through the playoffs and everything like that, and watching the World Series and watching three former Marlins win a ring, and Andrew Heaney, Nate Eovaldi, and Sandy Leon. But it's always cool, that seeing a team that hasn't won in a long time or won ever really to win again. And, I miss the Marlins, miss the Fish, miss watching the boys play, and I miss doing this every week with you guys. So I'm glad that we're able to all get back here together and chat a bit.
For sure. What better time to do this than the day after the World Series ends? Congratulations to the Texas Rangers. Like you said, awesome to see a team that hasn't won in a while. Honestly, that's the team that I was pulling for once it came down to the Phillies, the Diamondbacks, the Rangers, and the Astros. So I'm glad that the Rangers took it. And to the point where you said a couple of former Marlins won it, I don't want to talk about this too much, but last season, not this past season, but the one prior, I have a lot of Mets fans in my family, and they all were telling me DeGrom and Scherzer are going to lead a team to a World Series. And they didn't necessarily lead them, but they won those rings, and I am glad that they won them. And I can laugh at Mets fans because they won them for
Here's to you, New York Mets.
There you go. So, all right. But the reason we're here, we're going to celebrate the end of what I thought was a successful season. I think we can all agree, for the most part, an successful season. So we're going to have a little fun, and we're going to just throw some awards out there, some battered awards, and just have some fun and see. And if anybody here watching wants to comment down below whether you think that you would have voted for somebody else for a certain award, please feel free to join in and comment what you would have chosen. But without further ado, and thank you, C's, for joining us. Let's start. We have again, we're gonna do something a little different, something a little obviously Marlins, and I wanted to start with something that maybe somebody like Peter Pratt might not know too much about. Best stadium food. Hopefully he comes through and he knows, and we can prepare him for what to look for. But we wanted to start with the award for best stadium food. So I am going to start here to my left, your right. Spaz, winner for best stadium food in your opinion.
Best stadium food. I thought we switched this around. I thought it was food and drink.
Oh, okay. Hey.
So I never eat at the park. I never really eat at the park just because I go a lot and it would be very expensive and unhealthy to eat a bunch of Nathan's hot dogs and chicken tenders all the time. But I'll give you both. I think.
Boom.
Yeah. I think there is a at Ceviche 105. There is no. You know what? I'll change it up. Best food is at the Change Up which is the right field, kind of like foul line, because they always switch up their menus all the time.
They do it for that's the one that they do it for the away team, right? Like the away
Correct,
team, like
yes.
that's a specialty. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is that why they call it the change-up? See, I wasn't aware of this. I love this
Yeah.
show. Look at this. I'm
So-
already learning stuff. Look at that.
So not only do they have some of the, because they always change it up and it's always something new, but every once in a while they just make these yuca, like fried yuca with this garlic cilantro sauce.
Oh,
That is so
Pollo
sick.
Tropical style.
I'm gonna say-
Nice.
exactly. So it's little fried yuca with the garlic cilantro money. Drinks, I will say the drinks at the at Recess, the little bar downstairs, it's super affordable compared to up top, and the pours are like really, really strong. So that's my award goes to that. For the food, the change up, and for the drinks down at Recess, good value.
I'm gonna have to check out the change-up next year. I didn't. You guys didn't put me onto this.
Yeah, that's my fault. I'm sorry, but I am a huge.
I would say I think it was when the Cardinals came. I went to a game and they had like a St. Louis barbecued like pork sandwich or something like that.
That's such an awesome concept.
If you know
I love
how
that.
like every single word of that sentence can kill me,
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
ate it.
You risked
I
it
still
all.
ate it, and I risked it, and I paid for it
was
later.
well
but
worth
it
it.
was well worth it.
All right, Callie, your vote over your award. Who you giving the award to?
All right, so I have 2 for food and 1 for drink because
All
I
right.
couldn't decide between the 2 foods. So in true and this is as Miami as it gets, I suppose. The Isla Canaria croquetas, that's a staple in Miami. Very, very good, top notch. A little pricey, but that's stadium prices that you're gonna get. Right next to the Isla Canarias, which is in left field, they have a little like arepa cart.
Oh, you
yeah.
stole mine.
Oh, so sorry.
Well, for the record, he stole mine also, but okay.
Oh man, yeah, those arepas are straight heat, and they have great options and stuff like that. And then, as far as drinks go, I always drive to the stadium, and I live far, so I try not to consume alcohol. But when it does, whatever is on whichever is a $5, I believe it's Rolling Rock or something like that. That's the $5 beer one. Can't beat those. Can't beat that. And then also souvenir cup, refillable lemonade, because I'm a child.
He's an Arnold Palmer kind of guy too.
I am a
by the way.
huge Arnold Palmer guy. That's my favorite beverage on the planet. So
All right. So, Bretton, I know Callie stole your thunder. Any
you
backup, food or drink?
Listen, I'm gonna keep it classic because there's one thing I have to get every time I'm at the stadium, and it's a hot dog. And
I almost said that too.
The hot dog from the 305 menu, go and get it.
Yes.
It's a great hot dog. And eating that hot dog while drinking a nice Marlins lager in the Budweiser bar out in center field, that is heaven on earth right there.
I like that. That's a good choice.
I think that is a good choice also. And my daughter didn't like hot dogs before this baseball season. And I started taking it to the stadium. And every time we go in there, she's like, let's go over there. It's $3. And she gets like 2 of them. And now she's into hot dogs all of a sudden.
There's nothing beats a hot dog at a ball game. There's
it
nothing
really is.
like in the entire like sporting pantheon. There's nothing that beats a hot dog and a beer at a ball game. Like
I agree.
No.
I agree. Just sitting down, chilling. I do think, look, going to a baseball game is the most relaxing experience you'll have because you kind of just hang out. You could talk your stuff between innings or between pitches, really. And okay. So enough of the small talk. But my choice was the croquetas, Isla Canarias, for a few reasons. 1, tastes great. 2, usually when you go out there to Isla Canarias and you get those, you have an awesome view from center field.
Yeah.
And if you plan it just perfectly, you might run into spaz while you're eating your croquetas. So it just works out so beautifully because that is where you will always find spaz out in center field. So get your croqueta, hang out with spaz. To me, that is the best stadium food. When I go, that's probably one of my first stops.
And that little porch beneath Isla Canaria in like the left center. That was like the battered Marlin hangout spot. That's where where we usually.
That's my favorite little spot, man. I like
Yeah,
that.
That's where I think I watched most
spaz.
of the games.
Yeah, 95% of my viewing was from that spot. So
And then just to add to Callie saying that he was a child, my other favorite thing to do while I'm there is to eat Dippin' Dots. Dippin' Dots is something that you could only find like at amusement parks, but you can find it at Marlins.
and you
Park,
never want
so-
them unless you're in one of those 2 places.
Yeah. And then
Like, I'm never
love-
at home like, oh, I want Dippin' Dots, or Another one is also
And my wife has thrown out a few of them, but as you can see,
Yes.
that's what I was gonna say. The
The
ice cream in the
souvenir
helmet.
soft
man.
serve.
You got the. Come on, man. Like these are.
That with a
There you go.
little fudge and sprinkles. Ooh,
Come
buddy.
on, man.
So
Oh.
I
My
will
wife
say
hates these, but I collect them.
So I was there with Daniel. I was watching a game with his family, and he's talking to his wife, and he's like, "Babe, I think the kids want ice cream." And his wife is like, "No, I think they want ice cream." Fucking Danny just wants more little fucking.
Man, I do, man. I love those collectibles, and I love Dippin' Dots, man. I really do. I used to drive to Sawgrass just to get me some Dippin' Dots. That's the only place I knew that had them.
Ooh.
That wasn't an amusement park. All right, so best food again. If you have any comments and you want to just share that, go ahead, leave those in the comments. So let's move on to some actual on the field stuff. Biggest surprise of the season. So we'll start on the other end. Bratton, what was your biggest surprise of this season?
That we were buyers at the trade deadline, man.
Oh,
Ooh.
That's mine.
yeah.
As positive as we were going into the season, like as a Marlins fan, you never think you're gonna buy. And not only did we buy, but we killed it. Berger, Bell, they brought it home, and they're a big part of why we made the playoffs. And to me, that's the surprise of the season.
Callie.
For me, it was Braxton Garrett.
Stole my
Watch
shit
out.
again, but I appreciate you.
we need better pregame like note sharing.
No,
So,
I wanted this to be just us. Go ahead.
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
But yeah, Braxton Garrett, all the hype on the going to the season was is in terms of pitching was on Sandy, was on Jesus Luzardo, and then it was kind of a lot of hype around Trevor Rogers too, and and then Braxton was kind of an afterthought to everybody, but he was to me our most consistent arm of the season. I feel it. Unless he was pitching against the Braves, like he pitched well basically every outing, and I think he's a big reason why we got to the playoffs, and there were moments in time that he was our number 2 or number 3, and I was a big Braxton Garrett guy early on, and I'm glad he lived up to that for me, because I know he did it just for me. But that's my biggest surprise. I think he really put himself on the map as an established starter at this club right now.
All right.
And he
Before I go
started
to
as the
Spaz,
bullpen guy.
before I go to Spaz, C said Yuri's getting called up and cooking. That was
wasn't
his
a surprise.
That was
being called up.
The call-up was a
has
surprise.
swag.
The call up was a surprise.
We knew it. No,
We didn't know he was going to get called up.
The
that
call-up was
quickly.
a surprise. I will say that. Yeah.
We thought that it was going to be towards the latter
I
part
thought it
of
was
the
going to be a
year.
September call-up.
Yeah.
And I think I said it too. I thought it was going to be a September call-up. So,
But I'll give it. You guys ran out to the ballpark as soon as you found out. I give it to you. I wanted to be there also. I couldn't make it.
that was good. That was a good day, and we were all very, very surprised.
was
Spaz.
that was the game we ended up on the jumbotron and the hat game
Yeah,
and all
we got
that?
interviewed.
was it that game?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
sure, why not?
Spazzy had the mic.
Oh yeah, a very
Yeah.
famous picture came from that. So.
All right. Go ahead, Spaz. What was your biggest surprise of the season?
Biggest surprise of the season, which I like it because it shut a lot of people up because a lot of people were not excited about it. But my man, who unfortunately will not be with us next year, Jonathan Davis. Jonathan Davis pulled up, did his fucking job, did it very well, and then he got injured and broke my heart. But I think Jonathan Davis.
That's a great
And
one.
elected free agency.
Yes. I'm very heartbroken by that. But yeah, everyone saw his career minor numbers. And like, this guy's gonna be a scrub, this and that, and he held his own, man, and helped us out on multiple games while he was here. So I think that's a good surprise, and I'm really sad he's not gonna be back.
Hottest hitter in the league for a point.
Yeah,
man. And no, and
Yeah.
defensively, he was great also.
Yeah.
So I was going to go Braxton Garrett, but since that was taken from me, I'll go Tanner Scott. Tanner Scott simply because he was the closer last
Good
year,
shout.
kind of lost that job, and then ended up being the closer at the end of the season also this year. So I think that he was a nice surprise that he kind of solidified himself as the closer towards the end of the year. Did a pretty solid job there also. So I'm going to go Tanner Scott, biggest surprise of the season, just off the top of my head. All right. Now let's start with Callie on this one. Most clutch.
Oof. I struggled with this one a bit. I kind of went back and forth with a few guys, but I settled on Brian De La Cruz. Led our team in RBIs. It
I'm
always
not going to
felt
say that he did it again, but okay.
Yeah. Great minds, baby. led our team in RBIs. He always seemed to be in the plate for the bigger moments. De La Clutch exactly sees, as he just said in the chat. He always seemed to come through in big moments. He had a couple. Either walk-offs or late inning RBIs that brought us up, or he got on base or stole a base or something like that. So DLC is my guy for this one.
And DLC batted 328 in the 9th inning.
Yeah, monster.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Brighton, big most clutch.
So I'm kind of gonna go a different direction. I'm gonna go with our boy Andrew Nardi.
Oh,
that man,
okay.
when he came in with runners on base, those runners were not getting home.
Yeah,
he was the guy we called when shit was about to hit the fan, and only once did the shit actually hit the fan. The man pitched. I think he probably was the best player in the bullpen. Tanner Scott's in that conversation as well, but I think Andrew Nardi was the guy we called to clean up everybody's mess, and I think he did a great job, and I think that man's bring him back. We got to keep him.
I love it.
I like that.
Spaz, most clutch.
I am gonna go with my man who held it down, especially towards the end of the season.
Don't you say Fortes?
Was doing some numbers.
Jacob Stalling.
Get rid of all the catchers, man. Get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna go with Birdie Ball, man. Birdie Ball at the end of the season.
Yeah, John Birdie was balling at the end of the season.
And I think that without him doing those numbers, putting those numbers up that he did at the end of the season, we don't make it. Could be wrong. I don't know. But he was on fire towards the end, and he upset a lot.
Sure was.
And our manager for a good amount of the season kept throwing Joey Wendell out. And I was a Wendell apologist for a very long time. Doesn't use baseball gloves and all that shit. But it should have been Birdie the entire time up there. And that's my guy.
Adrian added in here, best stash goes to Spazzy. It was unanimous. It wasn't even worth putting up there because it's well known. It's the best stash in Marlins baseball.
Thank you, my brother.
We offer. We'll take anybody on. We want that smoke. I want to know who wants to smoke. We will go against anybody's stash.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Adrian.
All right. Now, most clutch. I was going to go De La Cruz. It's easy to go Arise, right? Because he goes up, you expect to hit, and I'm kind of glad that nobody went Arise because that was almost like the obvious hit. Yeah. I'm gonna go Jake Berger.
Ooh,
Berger. Even though the sample size was small because he was only with us, I felt like every time he went up in a late inning situation, you can count on him coming through. So I'm gonna go Berger, even though it wasn't for the full season. I'm gonna go Berger as Mr. Clutch for me, and I just love his name. So. And I appreciate that, Adrian.
Also has a great mustache, the Fargo mustache. So,
yeah. And let me tell you, the organization is super in love with Berger.
Yeah. I saw the Instagram post today that they flew to his house and gave him the Burger King crown.
Yeah, I mean that. I don't know what's going. I mean, we're gonna keep him for a bit. Hopefully,
Hopefully,
yeah.
All right. Biggest disappointment. Let's start off with Spaz. Who are you most disappointed with?
I'm gonna throw you a curveball here. I'm disappointed with our front office getting rid of Kim.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I like that.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to keep it on the field, but man, that one hurt a lot. It threw a lot of things into question. Oh, thank you.
That's good.
It made us question a whole lot. It made us question. I mean, it made us do a fucking emergency podcast about the whole deal. So that's my biggest disappointment. I'm still not over it. We still don't know who's going to be our president of operations or our new GM. We don't know anything. It's just happened. But yeah, that was my biggest disappointment. I'm pretty bummed out. Still,
I like it. I abs with that. I like it. Callie, biggest disappointment.
I went with a bit more obvious one and maybe one that a lot of people have on their mind, but
I'm 100% sure it's mine. Who?
Avi Garcia.
Okay, it wasn't mine. All right. Avi Garcia.
So,
one
of the highest. Yeah. It was between him and one other guy, but I have a feeling the other guy I had in mind was probably yours. Avi Garcia, one of the highest paid guys on the team. You expect some sort of production from him. Obviously, he's been terrible and hurt. And it was just a lot of dead money just sitting on the bench and then rehabbing in the minors and then just not contributing to this club in any way. I think he didn't hit a go ahead RBI or walk off at some point early in the season, but yeah, just a lot of general unhappiness there. So
I'm with you 100% on that one.
Love it.
And I just
Brandon.
want to throw something in there. Sorry, Brandon. Before the whole Avi thing, I would always go back to what Peter Pratt said, that it's like him like buying that mansion in Coral Gables. Just like not that it makes him look bad, but like it just makes us look like assholes too. We just gave him all this money to buy this mansion and him not do shit a few miles away from his house. So that I always think about that.
Well, I'm going to stick with the big money waste and go with our dear friend, the goat eater, Mr. Johnny Cueto.
Oh.
Every time I said, oh, his postseason experience is really going to help us down the stretch, the man gives up 6 runs. You know, I tried to be hopeful with the guy. And, you know, he's had a great career, unlike Avi. He's proven he's a major leaguer, but God, there was one game where I said, oh, he had a great game. He's turning things around. And the rest of the season, it was always like I was Charlie Brown and he was Lucy pulling that football out and me busting my ass.
I love that.
So Johnny Cueto.
So in my mind, I lined up 2 just because I wasn't sure where Cali was going. So I needed to make sure I had 2. So my number 1 was AJ Puck because he made me believe at the beginning of the season and then just disappointed me so much this year because I really believed in him when this season started. After April, I said, this guy might be the best closer in the league. And then I don't know what happened. Dead arm and then dead year after that. My backup, because I wasn't sure if Cali was going to go that way, was Peyton Burdick. I thought he might actually do something when he came out to the big leagues. I said, okay, let's see.
I have a question for the chat. Adrian's saying I'm bad guy of the year. What does that mean? How am I the bad guy?
Like you're bad. You know what he's saying?
Oh,
yeah,
so.
man, that could
That's
be
how
it.
I took it.
And
like Brandon's got the caps.
Bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good.
I
Like
hope
Michael
so.
Jackson bad. Who's bad?
There you go.
All right, moving on. Best jersey. I think this one's going to be a quick, easy one, but just in case. Best jersey of the year. Brandon.
If we don't all have the same one, I'm going to be very frustrated.
I mean, it has to be the throwback, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no other answer. Like,
which my hot take
second
again.
to Sugar Kings, like that. I like
I
that
like the
jersey,
jersey.
but we've had it before.
We put it out there just in case, but yeah, I think the throwback teal.
If they don't bring the teal back permanently, I want them to next season do Throwback Friday, but a different Marlins jersey.
But well, I think that they should do this one. The 2003, the black one.
Oh, the black one with the silver Marlins across.
Yeah.
And again, like I said it earlier in the season, like I think the Marlins are doing what like the Blue Jays did, the Astros did, the Padres did, the Royals. Like they all kind of reverted back to like their famous like color schemes and logos and all that stuff. I say both all those franchises went through kind of a tough stretch with uniforms, and then I think the Marlins are in that now, and I think they're realizing that people want the black and teal. So,
yeah, that's an easy choice.
Yeah, that one was easy. All right, well, this one might not be so easy. Best walk-up song. I'm gonna start here with Cali. We went to the stadium quite a few times this year, so you got a good listen. There's some songs that kind of just get you going. What was your favorite walk-up song this season?
Oh man, I'm between 2. I'm gonna pick one. It's got to be AJ Puck when he was coming in with all the lights come out, the like the strobes are going in, intro by DMX. Ooh. Got the fucking blood pumping, bro. That was RIP DMX.
I should have just gone first. RIP DMX for sure.
RIP DMX. One of the goats.
All right. Branton.
So, you know, I kind of went the same way as Cali with a pitcher. Dylan Floro coming in for
Metallica, right?
Yeah.
That's
and
really
they
good.
did the lights.
That was my
with
other
him and
one.
stuff too. Like that
was
got
my
me
other one.
pumped. Like I was like, this guy's gonna do it, and then he blew Yuri's first game. So I love it. There's something about like a good rock ballad to run into that really does it for me. So that would be my pick.
Spaz.
So to Branton's point, a nice fucking rock song to run into. Tanner Scott had Danzig, Mother.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's an amazing song. So the first time I heard it, I was like, is this a mistake? Why is Tanner Scott running into Danzig? And yeah, the old rocker in me is just like, fuck yeah. So every time he went out, I loved it. I thought he was great. Honorable mention to, I think it was Jazz had Outcast for a little bit. I think he had Spodioti. But
yeah,
Jazz had like 8 songs.
yeah, he
this
did.
year.
Yeah, Jazz had like he has a different song all the time. But it's
Shout out John Birdie though. Still Dre. That
yes, that was
a
very good.
banger too.
And he
I
never
forgot-
changed it.
I forgot who
No.
it was that had For Whom the Bell Tolls. Was
I don't know.
That was one of our closers. That was a closer. I remember.
was it?
Well,
I think that was Floro.
Yeah,
Mine
that's
was-
Floro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
Well, my favorite, like Hallie said, was AJ Puck with the lights and the DMX and that intro to that It's Dark and Hell is Hot. I love that song, that album. So that was my number one. But since he took that, Andrew Nardi for a while was coming out to Survival of the Fittest by Mobb Deep.
Oh,
I
that's
used
good.
to love
Yeah,
Mobb
that's a good
Deep.
one.
I used to love Mobb Deep when I was younger.
Great music choices by
Yeah.
our pitching staff.
Yeah.
So yes,
Fantastic.
yes. So I love Survival of the Fittest by Mobb Deep, and that would be my second after AJ Puck with the DMX. So again, you got anything? Leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear it. Now here, best game of the year. I'll start with you, Callie. What was in your opinion, the best game of the year?
So the best game of the year for me wasn't because of anything that happened on the field or anything like that, but it was more emotional and sentimental to me. April 15th, Jackie Robinson Day against the D-backs. We won 3-2. Braxton Garrett start, but that was the first game I ever took my daughter to. So that was a really special moment for us, watching her kind of get into it a little bit and like trying to throw stuff onto mimic the players by like trying to throw things out from our seats to the field. And after that, she kind of like sat and watched baseball with me most nights and stuff like that. So that was a really sweet moment for me.
That's a good one. I love that.
I think I met up with you that day.
Yeah, you came and found us that day. We sat in we were on the first base side, but we sat on the second level because I'm like, let's not be around people because I know how my daughter can be a little chaos.
No, she was digging it. She was digging it.
Yeah, she was about it.
Yeah.
We also ended up in the suite that game because they honored my boy on the field. He won an award with the club. Hector Crespo, he's a farm director for the Marlins. Shout out him. And I ran into his mom, and his mom invited myself, Angie, and Charlotte to the suite. So we got to watch half the game from there, which is cool.
When I grow up, I want to be like you, Callie.
You should. That's good. That's a good aspiration to have.
Spaz, best game of the season.
Man, so funny enough, the best game of the season for me was the game that I didn't even watch. It's when we clinched the playoffs, and I wasn't even watching. I think I mentioned this at one of the podcasts that I was at a pool thing, and I had put my phone in my wife's beach bag, and it was gone for like 8 hours. And I finally, when I see it, I see all the text messages and all that. So that was my favorite game. I didn't even see it, but that's a lot of emotion.
Awesome moment, right? Awesome
yeah,
moment.
a lot of awesome moment when I see it at like 2 a.m. and I'm like, oh my God, I missed all this greatness, but I'm very excited and very happy. So yeah, that day we clinched. That was very, very cool.
Brighton.
Well, first off, Spaz, I noticed that you mentioned all the texts you missed, but you didn't mention me going wild in Inter Miami Stadium
yes,
live like 8 times, Peter Pratt style. But
we should do that next season. All of us. We should do it at Drive Thru. We'll go crazy.
Yes, because Spazzy's back, or Callie is back. By the way,
Yeah, I'm back.
He's back on board.
God.
I'm back. Luis Suarez did it for me. So
There you go. Oh, Liverpool. That's right. The Liverpool connection.
that guy gave me some of the best footy of my life, and seeing him sign it was like, oh fuck! I have an opportunity to see that in person. That's fantastic. So
Go ahead, Brighton. What's the best game of the season?
So I have 2.
All right.
The first was kind of down Callie's line. As I've said on the show a lot, like I have not been to the stadium since probably the second or third year there. No, it's later than that. After they got rid of Stanton and Yelich and stuff, that fire sale, I said I was done. I'm not driving all the way down there to see the team. So I made it back to a lot this year. And the Thursday, the 4th of May, I got to take my son to his first baseball game.
Oh,
and so we got to sit out in the outfield, and I bought him a little Billy the Marlin
for
stuffed
Callie and
animal.
Bratton right there.
And yeah, and then July I got to take my daughter with us to her first game, so that was cool. But from a Marlins standpoint, my favorite game this year was I think it was Friday, May 12th, Yuri's debut. That game to me, like I have not been that excited to see a player come up through the system since probably Jose.
Yep.
Maybe I'm forgetting somebody else in there, but Jose, Stanton, Miguel, like those were the guys that I was most excited about, and to see him come up and dominate the way he did, I just that moment and getting to share with you guys out at the Budweiser bar and the fun we had at that game, like that was it for me. That was my best game.
That was great. That was a great game. That was close to being my number one game.
Yeah.
Mine was August 2nd. The Marlins were 14 games over 500 at one point. At that point, they were like 4 games over 500 because they had just such a rough post All-Star break. They were playing the Phillies. They were down 5-0. They scored 2 in the 6th. I think it was Jazz and Bell went back-to-back. They scored 2 in the 8th. Soler hits 1 in the 9th to tie the game. They go to the 10th inning. The Phillies and the Marlins both score twice. They go to the 11th inning. They both score once. So it was a long, entertaining game. And if at some point during the offseason you are bored, you're missing the Marlins, and you want to watch a good game, I suggest go August 2nd, Marlins-Phillies. Awesome game. They win in the 12th inning. And that to me, and that kind of got the ball rolling a little bit in August when they started turning the tide again. And I made that playoff push. So August 2nd against the Phillies. And I guess it's the Phillies, so it's always fun to beat the Phillies. So that to me was the best game of the season. All right. Worst moment.
Ooh.
I don't know. This one was a little tough for me.
I changed mine today.
Start with somebody other than me because I got to really think.
Let's go Brian first. Brian, what was your worst moment this year?
Getting the notification from Craig Mish's tweet that Kim was not coming back.
Okay. That's good.
To me, that was the worst moment of the year because she built this team that got us to the playoffs, that brought so much joy. And maybe if we had somebody in place right now, or there were rumors that somebody was about to join, I would feel differently about this. But this has me really worried about the future, especially since we've seen there's no one at the helm making these decisions, and Jonathan Davis is walking. Callie's biggest disappointment happened today. I won't get into it, but that guy's walking too. We just, it felt like we were building something sustainable and going to have some sustained success, especially with Skip and these players all buying in. And we could still have that. I could be totally wrong. We could end up with somebody great. But as of right now, to me, that's my worst moment of the season.
Callie?
Okay.
I had a different one, and I changed it today when I got the news that George Soler was electing free agency. You guys know how, if you've been listening all season, how much I love George Soler. Just my type of guy, just big swing for the fences, Cuban, which helps, from a personal standpoint. Kind of a giant, and shout out Solar Power and Lighting, and to see him elect free agency, hey man, go chase the cash. I get it. That's the business side of things, but it's gonna hurt because he quickly became one of my favorites. And it's gonna be weird seeing him in a different uniform next year.
For sure. Spaz, worst moment of the season.
So this was I was between. It was hard because I had so much fun this season, and I don't know. I try to like block out. I have so many years of worst moments that I try to block all that shit out. I gotta laugh about most of the things. But I think this one just sucked so much because it's a multi-season thing, which was Sandy's surgery.
Yeah.
So that sucked so much because not only could he not help us going forward, and Sandy was just not himself the entire season. I mean, whether it was due to that or whatever, I mean, who knows? But that really, really hurt me just because he couldn't help us going forward, even if he wanted to. And we're fucked for next season. We're without, our quote unquote ace. So that's my.
We have our new ace, Brax.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, Braxton Garrett. That's our new ace.
I was leaning towards Spaz's the Sandy. When I got that update, I was like, oh my God, all of next season also. But I think mine was kind of easy to come up, and that's how short we came up in the playoffs. I thought we'd put up more of a fight and making it as fun, but going out the way we did, that really sucked. That really sucked. So to me, that was the worst moment. But we don't want to. We're getting towards the end here, so we don't want to harp on the bad. Any favorite moments? And I'll start this time. My favorite moment was sweeping the Braves in September. I don't think anybody saw it coming. Nobody saw it coming. Braves fans didn't know what the hell to say or do. And at that point, I started to believe this team could actually make some noise in the postseason. Now, obviously, like right then, we got all those injuries and whatnot. But at that moment, I started to believe. And that, for me, was my favorite moment. That sweeping the Braves in late September, my favorite moment. Brian, what was yours?
So mine is kind of two moments. And it's Jazz's back-to-back games with grand slams.
Oh,
how awesome was that? Like the first time Marlins history that's happened, and like getting to see, to me, that was like the crown on Jazz's season. Like he was finally like the guy we needed him to be. When he was healthy, when he was on the field, he was a monster. And, for me, that was just so cool to see. Honorable mention to Ariza's cycle.
Oh, that was good.
Everybody knows. Oh, I don't think I've showed it on the pod yet. So, yeah, this is a relic card, game used base from the game where he hit the cycle and his signature there. So limited to 1 of 25. So that's how much I loved that moment too.
I always make fun of the collectors in the chat, but like I told Branson, I was like, that's actually one that I would definitely purchase. That was a really cool little purchase you got. I like it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Spaz, your favorite moment?
So again, little curveball. My favorite moment of the season. I mean, it was a lot of fun. We made it to the playoffs and all that. But my personal favorite moment of the season was when we had DJ Mercury on this podcast.
Yes.
That was my favorite moment of the season because we started this little podcast just to talk shit. A few Inter Miami fans that like baseball and like the Marlins. And I don't know where we get DJ Mercury, world famous, the North Miami pimp himself, on the podcast. So that is my favorite moment of the season. And I'm sticking to it.
I love that. I love that one. And Cali.
This one's probably the most cliche answer we're gonna get, but watching the final out for us to clinch the playoffs, I didn't expect it to make me as emotional as it did, just because it felt like so many years of shit kind of like being brushed to the side, if only for a fleeting moment, and like seeing the guys celebrate and like just all those, all the bad years and all the shit we've been through, to have that moment. And after the year that we've had, it was such an uplifting feeling. And I remember I'm standing in the middle of my living room and I'm like in tears, and my wife's like, "Are you okay? Did they lose?" I'm like, "No, they won." And they're all pouring champagne on each other, and it was just it was a really cool moment. And especially like I love seeing the locker room celebrations, and I stayed up watching everything and all the interviews and all that stuff, and just seeing how all those guys were with one another and with the coach and the front office and Kim and all that stuff. It's like, it was really, really awesome to see. And I'm a sucker for that stuff. So
No, I'm with you. Like, isn't it cool that we had so many moments to choose from this season?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a long season, so a lot of times
nice.
you do have a lot to, but man, this was such a fun season. Like C said, all the walk-offs, we had some of those. Adrian said winning the series against the Yankees. That comeback on August 13th, that Sunday, that was a wild comeback against the Yankees. That was another awesome moment. So there was a lot of awesome moments. And then, Brandon, I think you and I overlapped because those 2 grand slams, I think, was during that Braves series sweep.
Yeah.
So that was a really fun weekend. So many fun moments. This is just fun year overall. All right, so we got 2 left. So first, let's go with the biggest what if. Let's start with Cali. What was the biggest what if this season?
Mine might be echoed by a lot of fans out there. It's like, what if Sandy didn't get hurt, and what if Fury wasn't shut down? How much different would our season have looked? How much different would the playoffs have looked if we had those 2 arms available? But we'll never know, and that's the frustrating part.
I'm with you, Brian. Biggest what if?
Biggest what if is for me. I mean, Callie kind of stole it, so I got to go with something else. But my biggest what if originally was, what if we got Cy Young Sandy all year, and Trevor Rogers never gets hurt, and Yuri never gets shut down? What happens to that team? And I think that team isn't talking about wild card; it's talking about in the chase for the division. But the other thing, my other what if is, what if we were able to keep up that momentum going into the All-Star break?
That's a fucking great one. I didn't even think of it. That was a great one. What if we didn't have that 2-3 week slump?
If we didn't have that slump, man,
yes.
Maybe, I don't know, man. I think we could have been in a much better position in the playoffs, and I think, we could have been the Diamondbacks this year.
This man Branson took up 3 what ifs. Like I had one of them. That was fine. That was like, what if we just didn't eat shit for like 2 or 3 weeks after that All-Star game? Like, we would have been we would have been sweating. We would have been like, oh my god, what if that was my biggest thing. Like, what if after we just keep it hot and we didn't, and we
100% right, C's.
Yeah. But
so you got a backup one, Spaz, or not?
No, that's mine. Fucking,
I get you.
That was my backup one. I just came up with that on the spot, Spaz. So I'm sorry.
What if we didn't eat?
Callie stole mine with Sandy, and I had to go with something.
Mine is, what if Jazz finally played more than 100 games in a season?
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
He never plays more than 100 games, and it's wild to me, man. What could he be? What could he do for us?
Yeah.
Could he have done the 40-40 that Peter Pratt was counting down for?
I think he could have. I honestly think he could have.
Yeah, man, but he can never get over 100 games, it seems. So that to me is my
97. But it's not. He's close.
What do you mean that's close? That's still 65 games without playing.
You said 100 games. He played
no,
97.
I want him to go over 100. Get me at least 60 that you don't play.
How many home runs did he have?
Not enough.
Home runs, he had 19. 19 home runs, and he had 22 stolen bases.
So he would have gotten stolen bases.
He would have done 30-30.
If he would have
30-30 for sure.
Yeah, he would have done 30-30. I think if he would have played like 140, he probably would have hit the.
Well, and the other thing too is like we stole bases way less this year than we did last year. We were
Didn't it take us like 2 weeks to attempt a stolen base?
Yeah. I mean, Birdie was the stolen base leader last season, and this year, like, where was he at? Birdie, he's got 16 stolen bases this season. Like, they just weren't given the green light. That's it.
No, he didn't get the green light. They especially in the beginning of the season. The beginning of the season is like everybody knows with the new rules, steal. Like the Braves knew it. So, like, how did we wait so long to start stealing bases?
And you ready for this? Jazz and Birdie are the only 2 players with double-digit steals on this team.
I mean, nobody else has wheels, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, you could send somebody every now and
Jonathan
then.
Davis could.
Sanchez isn't bad. Davis isn't bad. Like,
No,
Xavier Edwards, when he came up, he's got wheels. Burdick is a pretty quick. There were guys to steal. They just didn't get the green light.
I don't want to hear that name again. Burdick, I never want to hear that again. All right. Now, final award to give away, and that's a good way, I guess, to put it. What was the best giveaway of the season? And just real quick, Cease threw in, what if we didn't have a double play every inning?
God damn it,
Oh
C's,
my
that's
God,
a fucking
yeah.
good one. That is a good
That's
one.
a good one.
That's a good one.
So, final award to give away. Best giveaway this season. Actually, we should probably add MVP of the team, but go ahead. Best giveaway this season, and then maybe we'll throw in an MVP of the team at the end. So, what was the best
MVP and
giveaway of the season? Let's start with Spaz. Yes, Segura. Go ahead.
So I'm a little just biased, just because you're gonna see why. No, just the reason I fell in love with the Marlins, kind of. But the Chuck Carr giveaway was, in my opinion, the best.
I finally had one stolen from me, motherfucker.
Well, no, because there you go.
I think Spaz has one for me in exchange for a Messi flag.
I do. I have one for you. Yes, I do.
So
I think that one, Chuck Carr's the reason why. One of the reasons why I really started to fall in love with the Marlins, and he passed away a couple of years ago, and I love that they did this. So that was my favorite giveaway of the season. I absolutely loved it. It went like hotcakes. I mean, I got there super early, and there was like, I think the person behind me got like one of the last ones. It went quick. So that's my favorite giveaway.
Callie, what was your favorite giveaway of the season?
It was the Chuck Carr bobblehead. Again, he was one of my first favorite Marlins. I was a little kid, and like, you're still so enamored with baseball and just the way he played, and how hard he played, and and the longevity of how he played was incredible. But since Spaz is a dick and takes it from me, I'll probably say the Levon bobblehead too was a great one.
God damn it!
It's Spazzy's fault, but again,
we're going bobbleheads.
Levon bobblehead. I had another one, but I'm like 98% sure it's Danny's, so I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that one.
Good. So, it doesn't matter. Go ahead, say it.
Oh,
all right, Brian. What was your favorite giveaway?
The one. It was the Levon Hernandez, because seeing him pitch in '97 like really inspired me to actually start throwing. He and Greg Maddux were big influences on how I played as a kid, and were reasons I even got on the mound to begin with. I was a catcher
before or after the glasses.
I did not have glasses when I started in baseball, and then when I got them, my ERA went down.
Yeah, I know. We remember.
I know. It's in the intro.
A typical Luzardo thing.
Yeah. Me and Luzardo are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Same caliber. No. No, but outside of I'm just gonna stick with Levon's giveaway, because I do not want to steal yours, Danny, because that would be my backup. No, you've had enough stolen because you've gone last, so you should go and
I'm going to go. I don't know if this is the one that you're going to go. I was going to go Jeff Conine jersey.
That's the one I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's good.
I thought that was such an awesome thing. One, that they had in multiple colors, and two, that they had it in kid sizes.
Yeah.
Because they usually just give you one size, and I thought it was a really cool touch that they gave it in kid sizes also. So my kids also got some jerseys. So I really liked that giveaway. And then for me, an honorable mention was the bucket hat. That's
Spaz.
The one that I look like a crackhead.
I thought you were gonna. That's what I thought you were gonna say. So that's why I was worried when you were going.
I wanted that bucket hat when I saw it so much, and I couldn't make it out to the stadium that game. But that bucket hat is so awesome. I really wanted that bucket hat. And then one last honorable mention: after the cycle that Luis Ariz hit, they gave out like a little
poster.
The shirt
poster.
Oh,
I have that.
That was really cool giveaway also. So those were some honorable mentions. And then let's finish it off with the very last one, MVP of the season. And let me just add that in real quick. MVP of the season. Let's start with, let's go backwards. Spaz, who was your MVP of, we started with Spaz last time. Let's start with Branton. Branton, who's your MVP of the season?
My MVP is Braxton Garrett. I do not think we make the playoffs without him.
No, you're right.
The man was a every 5 days, he's Gene Segura. Fuck that guy.
For those on audio, just so you know, that was a comment by C's. Gene Segura was his MVP of the season. He had the best little hop, like the
Yeah.
backflip where he like did a weird hop. That was a funny moment this season. That was an interesting moment. So MVP Braxton Garrett.
Braxton Garrett, because every 5 days I felt like he was really the ace this year.
Yeah.
We really felt comfortable that he was going to stop those slides, and he did a lot of the times. And so yeah, he was my MVP. I
love it. I don't think anybody will argue that. Callie, your MVP of the season.
I'm not gonna go with the obvious choice. I'm actually gonna pull off a spaz and go off the beaten trail here a little bit.
I know.
Skip Schumacher.
Fucking hey, bro! You gotta be.
I didn't think you would do that. I think we go that off the beaten trail. I think the culture change that he put into the locker room and how the guys played and how the guys responded, it was palatable. You can see how he was as a manager and how he commanded the respect of the locker room, of the players, of the roster, everybody, top to bottom. And he did a fantastic job for a rookie manager getting this team into the playoffs. So Skip is my guy.
All right.
Sorry, Spaz.
Well, Spazzy wasn't going to say Skip. He was going to say Joey Wendell.
I like Skip. I won't argue Skip, and I like Braxton. Spaz, I'm kind of curious to see what you say.
I mean, I had Skip. I thought Skip, like, they gave him a pile of dirt, and they're like, figure it out, and he did it.
He figured it out.
He figured it out. Since I can't do Skip, I like what C said. I think C said Luzardo. I mean, he definitely stepped up and did a whole lot. He's our Lizard King. Man, I don't know. I'm kind of screwed now, but whatever. I am gonna stick to Skip because I think that without him, you could have put another manager in there, and I don't think we get to where we did. I honestly don't.
I'm with you.
So
Spazzy, you should have said Mel.
I was gonna, but the thing is that we had so many problems with pitching, so I can't say that. But Mel is always our all-star. I love Mel.
And I'll happily go with the obvious choice, Luis Ariz.
Yes.
We thought that at one point he might bat 400, but he was always, you could count on him all the time. He became at one point, I think, the face of the franchise, even though Jazz, because of his swag and just he's fun to watch, he'll always be the face. But Luis Ariz is the best player on this team. So to me, Luis Ariz, MVP of the season. And Spaz's mustache is the MVP of the first season of Battered Marlins Fans podcast.
Hell yeah.
So that was the first ever Battered Marlins Fans season awards. And I appreciate you guys joining us. I appreciate everybody that was listening. And I appreciate anybody that goes ahead and comments any awards that they wanted to give away. And I guess we'll leave it here. Brenton, any final thoughts?
Because I can't say it to Kim anymore, whoever the hell Bruce signs, you better sign Ariz to an extension, and I'll buy the jersey. Just do it.
I like it. Callie, final thoughts on this beautiful season?
Has nothing to do with on the field or what we watch or the players or anything, but just all of you that have tuned in and listened and participated in the chat and stuff like that. And, just four guys talking shit, just kind of starting this for laughs. And it's actually grown into something pretty cool, and we've had some really cool guests on between, DJ Mercury, aka Craig Mish, Marlins historian, Eli from Fish on First, and the Peter Pratt, of course, the real homie Peter Pratt, my scouser from across the pond. It's just been so much fun doing this, man. I've fallen in love with this podcast with the community that we've kind of run into here. So, we got some really cool things coming up now for the off season. So stay tuned. Me and Brent still have to sit down and work out the kinks for that. But if we trade for Alek Manoah, I'm going to light myself on fire. I want you to know that, Adrian. But man, that's my final thought. Those are my final thoughts.
Spaz?
I want everyone to enjoy the off season. Take a vacation. Don't think about.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, fuck you. I want everyone to just not think about baseball for a little bit. And then when the winter meetings come around, we'll figure shit out. And I just want to thank everyone for whoever tuned in and commented and came on, all the guests that came on with us. It's been a lot of fun, man. Like Danny actually convinced me to do this. I am not a podcast guy, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great season, and I like doing this. So we'll do it again in a few months. But yeah, take a little break, and then we'll be back being miserable, battered Marlins fans.
Yeah, we'll be jumping in and out throughout the offseason. I think in December at some point once free agency starts, I'm sure we'll jump on and talk a little bit, but we are going to take a couple of weeks off at least to recharge. If you guys enjoy watching some Battered Fans podcasts, we do have Battered Dolphins, Battered Heat, Battered everything, Battered Herons, a little bit of everything. So go ahead, you keep supporting.
And if we don't have it, reach out to Danny, and you could be the one to start your own podcast.
For sure. And again, I wanted to say thank you to you three guys. I came out, reached out to you guys. I knew you guys liked the Marlins. See if you guys would want to jump on. All you guys were willing, and it's been one hell of a season. It's been really fun. I appreciate you guys joining the Battered family, and it's been awesome. So if you were listening on audio, whether it be the first time this episode or all throughout the season, we appreciate you. Please don't forget to leave 5 stars, comment, review, all that other good stuff. And if you are watching on YouTube, thank you for listening all the way to the end. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. If you have been participating in the comments, we appreciate you, whether it be just this episode or all the previous episodes where you guys have been jumping in and out. We appreciate all the love. Hopefully we continue to grow. And as the community grows, this will be even more and more fun. Looking forward to next season already, or December, to see what we do in the off season. I know Marlins fans are battered and they don't expect much, but fingers crossed that something good happens. So again, it's been a fun season. We appreciate everybody. I appreciate you three. And until the next one, have a good one.